Whether you're thinking about quitting your job, starting a side hustle, or just curious about the realities of being your own boss, this podcast explores the possibilities of being unemployed for a living. Welcome back to another episode of Unemployed for a Living. I am Ken, and
I'm Corey.
That's Corey over there. And you'll notice Corey, the smartly, handsomely bearded man below us, is Steven from Bearded Finds. Welcome in, Steven.
I appreciate you guys having me on. Definitely a pleasure.
We needed somebody that could grow a beard in a single color.
Yeah,
Well,
not this.
Overlook the grays. Overlook that. I need a Sharpie real quick.
And so you are one of the bearded resellers. There's a bunch of you out there, and you are Bearded Finds. Why don't you go ahead? I'm gonna pop you up here bigger on the screen and give you a chance to introduce yourself properly.
All right, everyone. So my name is Steven. I go by the Bearded Finds on YouTube, pretty much Instagram, Facebook. You type in the Bearded Finds, and you'll see me pretty much all over the internet. I'm not famous by no means, but one day you never know. Your boy might be famous. But we are a small reseller. We do this part-time because we still work full-time, unfortunately, but maybe one day that'll change. So
okay. Yeah, I got to tell you, Corey, I don't know if you know this story, but the first time I met Steven was at the Nashville meetup last year in 2024. And I get to the hotel, like I had just driven myself for 7 hours to get there. And as I'm walking in, there's a fellow walking in. Steven's walking in front of me, and I knew I recognized him from YouTube and such. And he has a hat on that said something along the lines of reselling. And I was like, oh, hey, there we go. So I'm like, right as we're walking in the door, I'm like, hey, this is great. This is going to be a great meetup. And I say to him, I'm like, oh, hey, with a hat like that, you got to be here for the meetup. And just right on it, didn't even acknowledge me. And he just like keeps walking, just turns around and looks. And so he's probably thinking, who's this guy? Bothering me. And me being, having delusions of grandeur, I'm thinking, who's this guy dissing SSK promo, the DOG? I'm the biggest name here. And he just like nothing. So I was like, okay.
I like him already. Steven, you're my kind of people.
appreciate that.
So yeah, I was there, but we ended up, getting to interact that weekend, and then even more so this year at the Nashville meetup, which then I got to talking to him. Now we know you from reselling, reselling on eBay and stuff and content that you do, but we are having you on the show today because you are starting into a whole new venture, a side hustle to your side hustles. So tell us what you're getting into.
So it's claw machines. Now I know typically you're thinking like these big claw machines when you go to like an arcade or whatever. Like, but
get big plush out of them and stuff like that.
What's the like? I think it's called like the big one or whatever. Like when you go to like the pavilion or whatever, it's like these humongous teddy bears.
Teresa can't walk by those. She'll stop at everyone.
Right. It's just like, I want to win a teddy bear. No one good and well. You're never going to win one at the first try. And but they're super big. So there's these new claw machines that came out probably roughly about 6 years ago, maybe give or take a couple years. But they're small. They're called mega mini claw machines. They literally take up 1 square foot of retail space, which is very important when it comes to trying to find locations. So that's what we're gonna try and do.
And so how did you find out about these? What made you get into that? Did you like find one out in the wild someplace and thought, hey, that looks like a good idea? Or what led you to this?
So I've always enjoyed, I'm a big kid. So I've always enjoyed claw machines and coin pushers, different stuff like that. And late night on YouTube doing the scroll of death, like what all is out
Yes.
there. And I came across this YouTube channel, and
Okay.
it was two young guys that started up a vending service, and then they
Okay.
ventured into claw machines, and then they started doing arcades, and I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they do like weekly clean out, showing all this money that you can make in claw machines and coin pushers. And
Okay.
I'm like, I like money. Like, it doesn't seem like it's that difficult, right? And so that's what started the about 2-year journey that we're on right now.
Okay.
To actually getting an LLC. And the name of the company is called Krazy Claw Vending. I don't have a. I thought I had a sticker.
Like this one?
Right there. Yeah, that's it.
Ken's got one. Ooh, I need that sticker for my door.
Okay, crazy. Well, hey, look.
I got some.
I got 2 of them.
Yep.
And here, while we're doing it, bearded finds. Oh, here's the round version.
So that's the actual logo for the company's stuff.
Okay.
So with the claw machine behind it, with Krazy Claw, so that's the final promo of it.
And I don't know the shapes of my state. What state is that?
North Carolina. That's where I live.
Okay.
I even knew that one, Ken.
I don't know the shapes. I know the shape of my state, Ohio. Florida's pretty easy. California, Texas.
I mean, they're all,
So do you have machines in businesses already, or are you still like at what stage are you, I guess?
So they've been ordered, and the whole tariffs thing have pretty much slowed everything down. And the whole process from start to finish to get the machines, it's fairly lengthy because of where I'm getting it. There's a couple of different sources that you can do, but the cheapest one and the one that's fairly reliable is overseas in China. So I technically should have a message today, or it would have been yesterday because they're like ahead of us. And so they're supposed to be sending me 2 out, and I should have those hopefully within the next couple of weeks. And then the other 2 will be probably like a month until I get those. But we do have one location. I just don't have the machines yet.
Okay, so you have a
already
location.
contracted. Cool.
Yep. Yeah, we was able to get one location, and the cool part is it's like literally like 5 minutes down the road from my house. So it's like
perfect. Nice.
Let me see if I can find a picture.
So the daily or whatever weekly maintenance, how much do you have to like go back and fill up prizes, clear out your earnings?
Well, nobody ever wins,
like
so you never have to put more. You never have to put more prizes in. Nobody ever wins, Ken. That's the gimmick.
That's oh, I tell you though, when Jill and I, this is kind of a side story.
Lisa does win those things. She'll put $6 in so she can win, but she'll win eventually. We
played when Jill and I first started dating. We used to go to this game room at the mall, and play again. They had these claw machines, and they were great claw machines. I don't know if you can adjust the tension on those claws so that people win more or less or whatever, but these machines had really good claws, and they were all like little small plush that would be in there. And it got to be where in $1 worth of quarters, you could take out 3 plush. I mean, these machines were, you just got good at that. It just, where to drop that claw and which ones weren't buried in with one another's. And I remember kind of when we quit doing that or when the game room closed, I had like 2 full, like 45-gallon trash bags just full of plush that we had won over the years.
So what kind of locations are you approaching to put these machines in? I'm just like, is it primarily like restaurants or do you have other types of locations? So
this is what the machines look like. And hold it up to the camera. Well, that's probably not gonna be no.
Oh, yeah, jumped off of there.
Yeah, let's see. I got my background is like blurry.
So, yeah, I see that. Yep.
Yeah, I can't. Okay. There you go. You kind of get. All right. Okay, so tall and thin.
Yeah, and those are actually my 4. They apparently I didn't get the message, but they sent me the picture. So those are my 4.
Cool.
But the locations, typically restaurants, local like grocery stores or like discount stores. To try and get into like chain places is a little bit difficult. Like we have, I'm pretty sure you guys have this location, but it's Food Line. There's
I know
probably
what you
like
mean.
3 within like a 5-mile radius of my house. And it's just a chain grocery store.
Yeah.
And when you go in there, they've got these, back in the day, they used to have claw machines. And then now they've got like these like gumball machines. And like you put the quarters in there, you twist it, and you get the little ball or the tattoo sleeves, whatever it is. So I asked the manager, I was like, hey, can I put in a claw machine? Like, would you be okay with that? And he was like, well, we can't have anything where a child could get stuck in. And I was like,
okay.
Oh, okay.
Not unless
well, I was
mom
like, well,
puts
these
them
are
in there.
small. Right? I'm thinking, like,
Yeah.
when he told me that, I was like, I'm just picturing a child like crawling into a claw machine and just getting in there and sitting in the prizes. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've only seen that on TV. But just like places like that, it's a little bit more difficult. But the place that our first location that we're in right now, it's a place called Jacob's, and it's a fairly newer ice cream shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're doing like burgers, hot dogs, ice cream, coffee. And it's not a huge place. It used to be a gas station, and they converted it into what they call Jacob's. And the color scheme is like blues, pinks, and stuff like that. So it's a super cool place. And I was able to strike a deal with him.
So I'm going to kind of back up a little bit. So you're scrolling through the phone one night, and you see these claw machines, and you say, man, that looks like something I would like to do or get into, or it seems like it could be fairly lucrative. What avenues did you have to go down? Who did you contact? How would one get into this same sort of opportunity?
So I mean, I probably watched a couple videos on vending for probably about 4 or 5 months just to get an understanding of like what is a vending service, because pretty much what a claw machine is, the vending portion service. And there's the group of guys that I started watching. I have to look up their name. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. But I'm in they invited me to a Discord where it was like almost like the reselling community. There's like hundreds of all these people who are doing vending. And I'm like, oh my God. Like they had like shortcuts on how to do this, that, where to buy the machines, what kind of plush to get. And then I started just looking over all the different stuff in the Discord. And I was watching one of the videos, and the 2 guys that I was originally watching announced that they were going to be doing a almost like a class. It's called Claw Academy. And it was pretty much a start to finish paid class where they do everything for you, and only thing you have to do is come up with your name, and they do your website, all your paperwork, everything. They get these people to send out different leads that's in your area, different things. So that way, only thing you had to focus on was your name and like what kind of prizes and stuff you wanted to do. And they were going to pretty much help with everything else.
And would they also provide the machines? Would you buy the machines through them, or?
So at first, they were talking about because it was going to be like $3,000. Like you pay $3,000 and you get into this group of connections, and portion of that was for a machine, and then the rest of it pretty much goes to them. And whenever I was talking to them, because I've been scammed before, especially in reselling, where trying to buy pallets and stuff like that. So I was kind of hesitant to just like, here's $3,000, like take my money.
Oh, for sure.
So I was like asking all these questions, and I video chatted with them, and it made me feel a little bit better. So I paid half, and they said once we get everything up and going, within the next 2 months, pay the other portion that gets your machine.
Okay.
And I was like, cool, no problem.
I can,
But then stuff
I can,
started happening.
I can almost see the people in the audience right now. Like half of our audience is cringing, thinking, "Oh no, you paid for a course." I've done the same thing. Like I probably 8 years ago, I paid $600 for a course, which was an expensive course at the time. That same course now is about $4,800 per seat.
Mhm.
And that $600 course turned into a $2.5 million a year business. So if somebody has information consolidated in a format that you can consume easily and you have the
Mhm.
contacts, courses at like those training academies that you're
Mhm.
explaining, those can be incredibly lucrative if you're willing to absorb it and do the steps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
90% of the people that pay for the course will never do it, which is why you hear a lot of grumbling about the courses. But I know, especially in our industry, you hear all the time about people grumbling about, oh, he's starting a course, he's scamming people. Those courses, if you're willing to actually take the steps and do the work, they're worth their money. I've very
Yeah.
rarely bought education that I didn't apply and make my money back on. And more than that, like make a career out of some of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that was the goal. Because I mean, I've got friends who do courses and stuff like that, and help hundreds of people when it comes to reselling. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know anything about claw machines. I don't know how to set them up. I don't know how to make money off of them, how to do
Yeah.
a contract, nothing. And I'm like, so here's an avenue for where I pay a little bit of money, and they pretty much teach me to do everything, which is
Yeah, no,
amazing.
the way I always looked at that was if I wanted to get into the garbage service and I didn't know anything about it, I have no clue how to get into it. If the local garbage company said, if you come down here and sit with me for 6 weeks and give me $2,000, I'll teach you everything there is to know about the garbage service and I'll help you get started. I'd pay that $2,000 in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
So far, you had mentioned the cost of like $3,000, which was basically all of the education, a machine to start with, and
Access.
help finding locations, access. I'm sure there was probably help on maintenance of the machines and
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth. So actually, as far as startup money for a business, of course, we'll talk a little bit about potential incomes and stuff after a bit, but not so hateful so far.
No.
I mean, going through that course is a huge weight off of someone's shoulders. And stuff, I mean, I will say, I mean, stuff happened, and let's just say I have not heard from them in over a year. So,
Okay.
yeah. First part of communication, and this is where, people's like this, the whole stuff like that. Corey, going back to what you said, not all classes are scams. There are a ton out there that are really good. As long as they know how to do the classes. If they if it's like reputable people, then can you trust them? Sure. But if they've never done one before, they don't know the ins and outs of it, how much time it takes to do a course, how much time it takes on their part as far as effort. And that's where it got tricky. So I paid $1,500.
I've done courses before. I've actually put out courses before that did very, very well. Not in this space, not in the reselling space either, but in the e-commerce space, and done really well with them. You're right; they're an incredible amount of work to maintain, not just build.
Yeah, and I don't think people understand that. Like,
no,
to set up a course, like if you're working full time, and then you're trying to do a course to where you're training and teaching 10 people. That's 10 people that you have to dedicate hours of your time to. And then not just that part, but then off script, you have to talk about, okay, now you've got 10 people's information you have to get set up, websites, logos, all this other stuff that you have to get done. And it's just a lot of time. And we don't have so much time in the day.
When you say that you haven't had contact for about a year, do you think that these fellas just were overwhelmed, were not prepared? You did get some education to begin with and some, contacts, but then that kind of dried up and you basically have had zero contact.
Yeah. I mean, it was, So the course was designed to pretty much only thing I have to give them is my business name.
Yeah.
They're going to the website, the logo, all the paperwork, and pretty much get locations.
Yeah.
So, and I hate talking bad about people because that's just not what I do. But
Sure.
not talking about the people, but talking about the experience. It was probably the worst experience of my life. Not even gonna lie. The logo looked like a 2-year-old did it. It was horrible. It was all like clip art stuff. Their logo that they have is amazing, and I'm like, I don't want a teddy bear sitting on with a weird looking claw stuck on its head. Like I want like a legit logo. I mean, I was like, I can do better with PixArt.
Yeah.
And then like doing the website, the website's up, I think. But I had to pay. So additionally, the $1,500, then I had to pay someone to do a logo because the logo did. Then I had to pay extra money for the website. And it still has their information on it. None of my information. It's got my name on it, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like they pretty much took their website, copied and pasted, and put it on here. And I don't know how to fix that stuff. I don't know anything about websites.
I was just gonna say that was in the e-commerce world when I built our courses and did those for quite a while. One of the things we always told people when they were looking at the courses is buyer beware when you're doing a done for you type package. Like we actually we didn't even offer one, and we told people if they wanted them, here's 3 course creators that do them and follow through and do them well. But the reason we didn't offer them is because when you have a done for you package, you're missing the learning curve on that first half of building your business. So now you're in a position where you don't know how to fix that website, or you don't know how to redo the stuff like that. Those struggles in the beginning that they're doing that for you, the done for you, those are the things you need to maintain the business long term. It's worth teaching someone how to do that and not doing it for them. So we actually, when somebody said, well, this guy has a done for you package, we always used to tell them, don't. Like you can if you want, but don't.
I mean, it's to the point where like my if someone would go send an email, like an inquiry, like say, hey, I want to have your service in my location, I don't even know where the email goes to. Like there's no, I'm like, where does it go? And I mean, I had to pay for the website, I had to pay for the editing, and then I had to pay for my LLC. And I thought the $1,500 was supposed to be a part of that.
Yeah, that used to be like the first 3 modules of our whole course was, here's how you set up your initial email. You're going to purchase everything through this email. You're going to set up everything through this email. Here's how you set up the website using that email. Here's how you buy your domain. Here's how you build your logo. And everything was contained within that email so that someday when you get ready to sell the business, you're literally selling the username and password to that email. And then that transfers everything over. But teaching them how to do that, that's such an important part of the business. It's really, and if you do that for someone, you have 6 years of them coming back with questions saying, how do I change the password on my email? And just silly stuff that really is beginner 101 stuff. So those done for you services, I don't like. Courses I love. The done for you services, those are a huge red flag for me.
Yeah.
So there is a website up, Krazy Claw Vending. I do see that right there, and maybe I should fill out the contact us, and you can see. But I also see you're going to do perhaps a YouTube channel. On that, I see a link for that. I'm your second subscriber, by the way, over there on Krazy Claw Vending on YouTube. So at this point, you haven't heard any contact, but you're still. You got some info, a little bit of training, I assume, and you still have machines that are on their way to you. You've got,
I love that you're still pushing forward.
Supplies. Yes, that's the positive thing. So where are you at now with like the learning process? What are you being able to do? Is there websites? Is there YouTube? Is there something like that that's allowing you to not only learn about these particular machines, but the vending business as it would be?
So as far as training, I still don't have any training on none of this stuff. So I'm still
Okay.
like flying blind on this.
Okay.
But I did connect to another Discord because there's some other vending companies out there that I mean they're legit. I mean they're on YouTube and
Yeah.
one of the main Discords, and I don't want to pronounce their
Well,
name wrong.
I don't want to make it seem like being on YouTube it offers legitimacy because
They let
Corey and
us
I
on
are
here.
both. Yeah, they let us on here, and we're not. We just
Well, I
say
was let's see.
so. Yeah, like Corey said, I love that you are pushing forward with this, and that you've already reached out. You've got one location secured. I think you had said you have four machines that are coming.
Yeah.
What is your
Well, I think
thoughts going forward to when you actually receive these machines without this, say education that you were supposed to get? And I guess you're getting into it now. The initial 3,000 included a machine, right? And then this education, you went ahead and purchased you're getting four machines.
Yeah.
Was
So
that
no,
one
that
of
wasn't
those
part of
part
the
of that
deal.
initial?
No, because it was pretty
Okay.
much they said don't worry about paying the rest of the money. Uh, just go buy a machine with that
Okay.
$1,500.
Okay.
And so the Discord that I'm in, one of the groups, there's a U.S. supplier, and the machines are $1,500, and I'm like, hey,
Okay.
that's a lot of money. And I'm like, I mean the Bearded Funds is pretty much funding this adventure. So I'm like, okay,
Yes.
that's fine. We've got the money in the account. Let's move a little bit into the Krazy Claw Vending. Um, and after talking with people, there was another supplier that's overseas. You can actually order these off of Alibaba, the app.
that's
Okay.
what I was thinking.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so Rennie is one of the users that's in the Discord that we're in. And you can reach out to him. The other user is called the Hospitality Group, and
Okay.
they're very good as far as any kind of help you need. And they do offer a small class. It's not super expensive. I want to say it's like $20.
Yeah.
And it's a class where they'll help you if you got questions. The good thing is with these machines, there's not like a ton of maintenance on them.
Okay.
But I mean, kids are messing with the joystick, slapping the button, shaking it, doing different stuff.
Yeah.
But the good thing, these are very durable machines. They're all made of metal. They got circuit boards and wires and lights, but it's not that
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've gotten into those discussions in the Discord groups. I know when we used to order vending machines, like the full size snack machines and stuff,
Mhm.
we used to talk to the larger vending community, and we would actually do group buys because we were importing from China too, the larger machines, and those were 3,000-4,000 a pop. So we would buy a container load full of them between the group, and then each of us, we would get them for like almost half price because we bought a container load. They would hit the port in one coast or the other, and then from there you were responsible to set up your delivery for your cut of however many there were. But the
Yeah.
group at large would basically buy a container as a group purchase.
Yeah.
And we did that quite a few times.
Yeah, there's a local vendor that's around my area to where I reached out to them because I've got this one location. I'm like, crap, I need a vending machine quick, or a claw
Yeah.
machine quick. And I thought, hey, I'll buy one of your machines. And because this is right when the tariffs like skyrocketed. And I
Yeah.
was like, this is going to cost me like so much extra money. And so I reached out to him. And he was like, yeah, I've got 10 coming. I was like, well, can I buy one? I was like, I will pay you a little bit more than what you paid. He was like, nah, I can't do that. I'm like,
Okay.
crap, okay.
Oh, boo.
But I was like, dang it. I was like, what if I buy yours and then when mine comes in, I'll give it to you? I'm like, does that make sense? He was like,
Yep.
no, I still don't want to do that. And I was like, okay, whatever. But after talking with him, in the future, if I do want to order some more, then he said he'd be fine with going in because he does order
Yeah.
10 to 20 at a time.
Yep.
So
Is
that
it
would be an option.
that close in your area? Then that would be competition.
Yeah.
That like you're both fighting for the same areas or placement of your
Maybe
machines.
that was why he was hesitant.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
that
could
is,
be.
but I will say,
So,
so the area that I'm in, or the area that he's servicing, is pretty much Catawba County, and which is like Hickory, North Carolina, um, Conover, Maiden, uh, Sherrills Ford area, like those cities within Catawba County.
Wasn't there a famous
Um,
comedian from Hickory? You know who I'm talking about, Ken? Wasn't there a
um,
famous comedian from Hickory? The guy that did that. Is there a Hemi in that thing?
yeah, John,
Can't remember. Reek,
John
something like
Reeb or
that.
something. Reeb, yeah, something like
Reek.
that.
oh,
Uh,
he's got to Google it now.
I am.
As soon as you said Hickory, I was like, I'm from Hickory. I remember him doing his
Yeah,
bit.
John Reap is who
There
that
you
is.
go.
John Reap. Okay, so Stephen, we've talked a little bit about the business that you're getting into. That's going to be a vending business, but primarily focused on these claw machines. Um, the uh, the difficulty level of getting into something like that is, I guess, based on pre-knowledge that you might have, or let's just say I haven't done vending or whatever, and you said these machines are around 1,500, or they were before, you know, tariffs and things like that were setting in. And I go spend $1,500 and I find a location. Is there what am I looking at myself to be able to maintain, to be able to start earning money from this machine?
So the $1,500, that's if you buy from the U.S. supplier.
Okay.
Alibaba is about $500 per machine.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a lot cheaper. So I mean, of course, you
okay.
got wait time, shipping, stuff
Sure.
like that, and now of course the tariffs. But I was at the 4 machines I've got. I was still able to get 4 machines cheaper than 2 machines from the U.S. Just have to
Okay.
wait a little bit longer. So,
Yes.
and it comes with extra parts, extra boards, different odds and ends, where you can put a dollar in, like the bill acceptor. And then the big part now is what they call the NIX card reader, to where you can just tap your card and it puts credits in there and do it that way.
Okay.
But going back to what you was asking, I think, and I'm sorry, I had like my brain sort of went to left field. But you used to ask how profitable is it? Is that correct?
Well, the experience, is this something that without a lot of knowledge or foreknowledge that somebody just has extra cash laying around that they can buy these machines and get it? Is it something that anybody could really get into without having a specialized knowledge of anything?
Yeah. I mean, from someone who literally just watched it on YouTube to able to order the machine and get product and able to get one location. Really, the most difficult part about everything that you're going to do from what I've seen so far is trying to find locations. That's really the
Yeah.
only difficult part. So if you're not a talker, if you don't like talking to people, that's where you're going to struggle. But
Okay.
there's other accesses, other ways to be able to
Yeah.
get your business name out there. So
What is that? So
flyers
one
and
of
stuff
these
like that.
machines, it's a one man thing. You're a strapping young lad. Is this something you can just throw in the back of a pickup truck and
Yeah.
you can move it in and out of a location yourself?
Yep. So these machines do come with wheels on the back, so you can literally lean it back. It's got a little handle, so you can literally
Okay.
lean it back and roll it.
Okay.
So when these were built, they've kept making changes over the years, and now the design is so much more user friendly to where you're
Yeah.
setting it up. It's not difficult. Adding different accessories is not difficult. You can literally watch a couple videos on YouTube and shows how to replace the boards, how to set the machines up, different stuff. So I mean, they're not super heavy, but I mean they're
Okay.
metal.
See, I know
So
I know myself too well. If I ordered one of those smaller machines like that, not like a huge full-size snack machine,
Mhm.
the first thing I would do is have that thing disassembled into parts, and I'd be manufacturing my own. Like, I just know myself too well. I would strip that thing to the bolts,
Well,
and I
I
would
can
be
see
It's
printing out
not
parts. And no,
from what you've
I mean,
said,
it's-
it sounds to me like it's going to be set up in your living room, and Teresa's just going to be plugging quarters into it all day, trying to win.
She probably
Trying to
would
win.
be if she had one here. Like,
What
she
kind of
loves those things.
prizes are you putting? What kind of prizes are you putting? Where do you get where do you get that sort of inventory from?
So that's where the reseller side of me comes in, because
Yes.
going to discount stores, going to wholesalers, bulk buys. We've got let's see, where's that? So like some of these things here, like these little bags that's got like mini Disney Squishmallows in it.
Okay.
Different, just like little different small prizes,
Okay.
all the way up to like bigger prizes, bigger Squishmallows, stuff like that.
Okay.
But mainly it's gonna be like plush. We've got some like those Nike, or like the little sneaker keychains that you see that people, when you go to the flea market, people's got them for like $2. We got those Squishmallow keychains.
I'd be really curious on the analytics. Like once you get your machine in, I almost want you to come back after you've ran it for a little while, because once you get that machine in, I'd be really curious to see like how many bills. Like, I know what Teresa, she'd have to play like five times to get one, but to know the analytics on how much money goes in per product coming out kind of will tell you exactly how much you could spend on the things that are going in there. Because I could see like kicking this thing off and printing like 500 little articulated dragons that can go in there that you could claw out and have some really cool themed machines. But it would all depend on those analytics, which you haven't gotten yet, but they're coming. Like,
so
yes,
that would be so cool to get to the numbers
you
of
can,
that.
You can rig, and it's bad to say, but you can rig claw machines to where it's a 4-to-1 ratio, 5-to-1 ratio, depending on the like, for example, if I had nothing but the Google Airbuds, whole machine full of these things, and each one of these, my cost is like $20, then I can have it set up to where every $30 that's put in there, you win one prize.
Gonna grip a little better.
Yeah. So like every time you notice, if you play a claw machine, that claw goes down and it comes up, it just opens just a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Where it loses that grip and it falls down. Every time. That means
I want claw machines now, Ken.
Uh-oh, Steven. Last time we did a show on
I'm thinking on a much larger scale probably than you're even thinking of. One, I'm so happy that you're still, like, you have those machines ordered. Like, you don't know how happy that makes me, because when we ran courses, people would pay $3,000, $5,000, $1,000 for a course. And I've talked to Ken about this before. Out of 100 people that would order the course, only 10 of them would even log in to do the course. And out of those 10, only about 1 or 2 of them would actually do the stuff and commit and follow through. And those 2 were wildly successful every time. So the fact that you've already gone as far as you are, I'm certain you're going to do just fine with it once you get up and rolling. But the vending stuff, like when I worked for a company that would put, it was one of my last jobs. The company would actually put micro cafeterias into bigger companies. Like, think the Tyson food plants and the insurance companies and big places like that. They would go put these little micro cafeterias in. The cafeterias were bust. They never made money on a cafeteria ever. But by winning the contract to do the micro cafeteria, they put 1 or 2 staff members in there to make the warm food, but that would get them the vending contract for the whole company. So they would put 20, 30 vending machines in the building, and then it was my job with that company to deliver the machines, strip out the money part of it, the dollar bills and the coin ops, and put in the card reader part so they could either use a credit card or their employee badge and charge to their payroll deduct right from the vending machines.
Oh, wow.
That was my job. And they made a fortune every year on every one of those companies off vending, but every cafeteria they ever put in never made money. That was just their way to get their foot in the door.
Ah, that's kooky. Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to vending, and I mean, we eventually, not saying now because we've got a lot of stuff going on, but eventually we would like to land a vending, not like snacks or anything, but more drinks. Because a drink machine you can put pretty much out anywhere as long as it has an outlet. So, and all that stuff, you can go to Sam's Club or Costco or wholesalers like that, or even in my area we have Sundrop. That's like a distributor or distribution place.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, you can buy in bulk, put them in there, and make 50 cents per can. I mean, it's
Yeah.
vending can be very, very profitable, and there's
Quite a
other
bit more than
vending
that in a
services.
lot of cases.
Yeah.
A lot of those bigger companies that are doing this, the soda machines, the Coke and the Pepsi machines, and the bigger snack machines with cold sandwiches and just you name it. If it could go into vending airports, they have the vending machines with phone chargers and all kinds of stuff in them. A lot of those are set up on 3-year contracts with the company. As a matter of fact, a lot of them are contracted to Coke or Pepsi, but they're on a even Coke and Pepsi is on a 3-year contract. If you could beat their contract, what we used to do is go in and ask the company when their contract was up and put our name in the hat for the bid when the bid came back up. So sometimes it would take 3 years for that to come around where we could put our bid in. And as long as we got the bid, you're good for 3 years. So it's a matter of finding the places where vending machines could go and then find out when their contract is up and tell them you want your name in the hat. A lot of times you could take them over. It's just a matter of it's a multi-year process sometimes. But once you're in, then you kind of have the inside track. You know what you can afford to bid better. And, and you know when the bids come up.
It's about profit and loss. I mean, at the end of the day, numbers got to make sense. So if even with the the claw machine stuff, the average price that we're paying per prize is about $1.50, give or take.
I like your model better, just because with a Coke machine, if they put $1 in and they push a button, a Coke comes out. With a claw machine, they put $1 in, they push the button, and 4 out of 5 times nothing comes out. Like I love the model. It's like having a video lottery machine in there.
And I mean, when you get to the point where you can have 10, 15, 20 of these machines set up, then now you're talking about passive income, because the only way that machine leaves is if you're not making the people who own that business money, or if they're not making money and they're not happy, you're not going to stay there.
See, if you were in my area, if you were local to me, you'd have a machine in my building. I guarantee I'd put one in tomorrow. And we own an escape room and accident place. We want people to loiter when they're there. Because the longer they're there, the more drinks they buy, the more chance they're going to throw access for another half hour, the more chance they're going to book an escape room. So we have a big lobby up front. And if they're waiting on other people to do an escape room, they have nothing to do but sit there. So to have a machine up front for an escape room or accident place, like I'd probably have you bring 2 or 3 just to put in the front lobby.
Well, I mean, there are some empty buildings in North Carolina if you want to put some locations in here. Just saying.
So check out escape rooms and axe throwing places. They may have you put one in.
Yeah, definitely. I never thought about those places.
Because they do have a lobby and they do have loitering people. They want to keep people up there.
Not having any previous vending experience myself, how do these contracts normally work? Is it you pay the owner of the establishment a certain monthly amount, like you're renting that little bit of space, or are you paying a percentage of what that machine gets? How does that look once you find your locations?
So typically in this type of vending services, it's on average it's a 70-30 split. 70 to myself, 30% to the owner of the establishment.
Okay.
And normally it starts off at 80-20, and then you work your way up to 70-30.
Okay.
My first deal, when I told him that, he was like, I need some more money than that. But I'm like, I mean, you never had a claw machine in here. We don't know how good it's going to be. You are my first customer. I was like, so, because he was wanting to do 60-40. And I'm like, 10% is not a lot, but when we're talking about, the time that it takes me to fill the machine, time for maintenance, getting the plush, servicing the machine, like there's a lot more that's involved on my end than it is their end. They're just pretty much letting me rent out 1 square foot of space, and they collect money. They let me access their power. And the good thing is these machines it doesn't take a lot of power to run them. I can literally use my backup generator that's solar, like a battery backup system, and plug it in and it runs. So it's not a lot of power. So I landed.
So you could take those remote. That's interesting as well. When you said they're kind of a little bit easy to transport, and if they're only 12 foot wide. You could fit, laying down maybe
Mhm.
4 of them across in the bed of a pickup truck or so, 3 at least. And you
Does-
could do like if there was a flea market, if there was a weekend festival, you
That's
could
I
set
think
that.
that's where that little micro cafe came in really handy because we were adding value. So the
Mhm.
vending
Too.
we got to keep. The
Yeah.
vending they didn't have any part of the vending. Basically,
There was
we were
no
bidding
percentage
for
of
the
that.
cafeteria. Yep.
And that's one of the things you were talking about. The property owner or the location. Basically, they got to give up. They got to give up 1 square foot of space, and I assume that they're paying the electric on that to have it on, and
Yeah.
that's getting paid out of their cut. One of the things when we talk about the viability of doing this sort of a business, if somebody was looking at this now, you're starting this kind of as a side hustle because you are full time. You and your wife are both full time, and what do you see? Of course, that time expenditure might be initially you're going to have 4 machines, and if you get them all into 4 locations, and you're looking to have 10, 15, 20 machines, as many as you can
Mhm.
out there. Is this something that you see being full-time vending, or is that a goal of yours, or is it just like, hey, this is something I can go around once a week, fill up all the machines that I have, clear out the monies, and go on? What sort of a time is this? A daily thing, a weekly thing? How often do you have to go back and check?
So with the NIAX card reader that you can add to the machines, it pretty much gives you all the data on their system. So you log
Okay.
in, you can see how much money was paid in, whether if it was coins, cash, or card, because it all
Okay.
reads through that board, and it tells you how many prizes was won. Because I'm a big numbers guy. Like no matter what I do, I'm all about numbers, formulas. Like what kind of ratio are we doing? Because if we're not making at least 30% to 50% of our profit and time, it doesn't make sense to do anything.
Yeah.
Especially with us having other stuff doing down the road that we're doing as well. So I would say roughly about once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, filling up machines. And depending on where you store your stuff at, how many item prizes you have, you literally just either have preset bags to where you've got like
Oh,
30
okay.
different items in this bag, 30 different items in this one, and you just take your bag and just put different items in the machine. There's no rhyme or reason to
Yeah.
how many prizes you put in the machine. The only thing I'm struggling with is how to keep track with how many prizes are in the machine versus the cost of each prize and stuff like that. That's what I'm still trying to figure out.
Okay.
I think as you get going though, like you can order prizes from the same place you're getting your machine, not necessarily the same company, but by AliExpress and Alibaba, you can get like garbage bags full of vending prizes for 12, 15 cents a piece, probably plus whatever shipping is going to be. So I think at a certain point, it would be more financially beneficial to go that route once they were paying for themselves rather than try to have to individually find prizes. But you could get so deep on, there's so much more science to this particular kind of vending machine than there is to say a Coke machine. Like where you place that machine has multiple angles you have to look at it. One, you want where you place it to benefit the business. So you want to place it in somewhere where it's going to make the people using the machine want to do more business with the place they're in. So, place it next to a cooler full of soda so they'll buy a soda on their way out. And you have to place it in a place where they also want to play the machine because you need as many people as you can to play the machine. There's so many angles and analytics to look at in this business. It's really intriguing to me. Like, I think you could really dig and find some interesting numbers long term.
Okay. Everybody put down in the chat here. This is my call to action for this episode. Put down in the chat how long until Corey owns his own claw machine, because every topic that we talk about, Corey ends up buying. So I'll put it at 3 months. 3 months before Corey, you give me.
I don't
want to
do the claw machine. It is so like I could geek out on this business model for days. I'm telling you, like I love this business model already, just because of all the numbers that go with it and the analytics that you can get with it. Like I love this business model, And that's all it is. It's just a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
And like for me, I would much rather be on the supply side of it, just because that's what I'm having fun with right now. Like I would love to print out 100 things to drop in a bag and send to a claw machine, but they'd have to be affordable and it would have to be a high traffic area to where you're moving them.
Mhm.
But that part of it to me, it's well, as soon as we shut this off, this 3D printer is coming back on. It's got like a day and a half of work to do. And the only reason it's not running now is because we're recording.
I will say the claw machine and a 3D printer is
Together.
a sustainable business, because your cost per item on a 3D printed product, especially the stuff that they have now, like as long as you own the file, but it's crazy. And I mean, you've got pennies in these products, maybe 10, 15 cents max in each one of these. I mean, depending on, of course, the size of your 3D printer and how many items you fit on that tray. But I mean, how many, say they're 2 inch by 2 inches, how many can you fit on a tray in your machine, Corey?
Well, my tray is like almost 12 inches square.
Okay.
So 6 inches or 6 pieces squared. So you're going to get 6, 12, 24, 40. You're going to get close to 40 some pieces on a tray.
Okay.
But
So
I did figure out a new printing method. If I'm printing the same item over and over, I learned how to build a bridge off the bottom item and build a little tree coming off of it and start a whole new layer on top of it. So I could build 12 inches tall too. So really, if I kick that on, I could let it run for 3-4 days and print out a couple hundred at a time.
So, and what would you think the cost would be, taking your time
For
your
something
product?
like 2 inch?
Yeah.
You're going to have under $1 in filament and electricity in it. That's your physical cost.
Mhm.
In the whole thing.
It's in the whole thing. Between electricity and filament, you're probably going to be closer to 25 cents to 50 cents, depending on how complex it is.
Yeah.
And once you have the file, then you have the file. So your time, I mean, it might take you a few hours to design something, but they have these, well, just, this would be close to that size of product. It's a little boat.
Yeah.
I think, that literally, it's like cost wise, you probably only have 25, 30 cents in that. And it doesn't take long to print. And now that you have the file, you just hit print and let it print as many as you can stack. So
you think
it's not a lot.
no? And say average, your machine, you have a setup to where you put $4 into it and you win one prize. So you're making $3.50 per one.
If you're printing them yourself, you're probably making $3.50, $3.75 a pop if you're running your own printer. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I want everybody to put down in the chat how long until Steven buys a 3D printer. Now,
I was already working on that part.
Steven's buying a 3D printer. Corey's buying the claw vending machine, and
we're going to franchise this right now.
I'm still doing nothing towards the benefit of myself. So we talked about a little bit about the cost. We talked about the potential, some of the costs, some of the education that might be needed. Of course, this is an item that doesn't. One of the questions we usually ask is the seasonality. If it's a thing, there's really not a season to this. The only seasonality, it's not like, I mean, these can run all seasons. The only seasonality might be the price set that you put in there. Christmassy time, you might have some little more Christmassy looking, some Santa Claus stuff.
There might be
summertime.
There might be some seasonality based on the business you put it in. There's a indoor go-kart track down in like an hour from us. They're very seasonal, but they have machines like that, like not claw machines, but they have vending type stuff.
Vending
so
machines,
it might be seasonal based on where you put it.
Yeah, like ice cream shops. I mean, they're unless they're doing coffee and stuff like that. I mean, you're not going to see that many ice cream shops open up in the wintertime, depending on where you live at. And of course, like Florida, like down south, winter's not really winter, but up north, I mean, if you got 10 foot of snow outside, no one's gonna go play any claw machines.
I'll go to the ice cream shop no matter how cold it is.
So a business that is very scalable, as long as you can continue to find locations, or even putting multiple machines in the same location would
Yep.
be the ideal, I guess, thing to look for. Of course, right now, potential profit. You were talking a little bit about those numbers that you can gauge the machine that 4 out of 5 times there's a winner, depending on how much it costs to put into it, what your prize cost is. And yeah, like Corey said, after you get this, you get your machines in and you get a few locations. We'd love to have you come back and talk and say, hey, this really exceeded our expectations, or maybe it wasn't the most profitable thing. I'd love to hear that.
I think you got to put one in the hospital waiting room with get well cards as prizes.
Or get like the little dangly keychain that says "I survived the ER."
Yeah.
Yes.
Just put them in the waiting rooms. People, they're going to loiter there. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Stephen, super excited about this for you. I know when we talked at the meetup, and you're just getting started in this, you're waiting for your machines to get here. I'm sure you're super excited and just chomping at the bit to get them, and to get started, put that first one into that location and see what happens. That's going to be kind of the answer to everything, is getting some machines out there into these locations, and seeing if it's paying off.
My mind won't stop. Renting them for birthday parties. Like I can't. My mind won't shut off on this now. I'm stuck on it.
So, well, that's what I was talking about.
You do rentals.
When he said that it would run off, a little solar generator or solar power thing, taking them. See, okay, there. I take my cotton candy, my popcorn maker, my snow cone, and a couple of claw machines.
Mm-hmm. Well, the cool part about rentals is they pay you to have it there, and then they're putting money in it the whole time it's there.
Yeah.
Yep.
See,
I mean,
this is great.
There's this young couple that's over in Florida, and they do pop-up arcades, and they'll rent out this warehouse, and it's just claw machines everywhere, and they're big claw machines. They've got name brand plush. They do it like around certain time frames. And seeing that, and Ken, going back to what you was talking about, like the flea market and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You get an enclosed trailer, a small one, and you get 6 machines lined up. And then up front, you got to where the window folds up so they can see all the flashing lights and everything. Yes. And then you put branding mobile arcade.
Yeah.
I mean, well, costing that is nothing.
A lot of these escape rooms have mobile escape room trailers, and the axe throwing places have mobile axe throwing trailers. And they pull them out for parties and stuff like that and rent them out.
Yeah.
Throwing a claw machine or two in the back of the truck to sit outside while people are waiting to get in line and do those, you'd clean house on those. You'd absolutely clean house, because there's always a line, and they have nowhere to go but sit and wait and nothing to do.
And I think it's really going to also depend on the type of prizes people can visually see. I mean, because if they see some better stuff, even though you've got some cheaper stuff thrown in there, but if they see like stuff that they know in retail, it's like $10 if you go to Walmart. But where you get them from, if you can buy, like we went to a bin store over in during Nashville time, we went to the bin store, and I picked up this box of.
Shout out to Lucky Bundle, by the way. Yeah, in. That was, and Steven cleaned up that day. It's one of those things where there was all the bins, and it was picking the right bin, like going to the right one, because there's a whole bunch of them. And, of course, my luck, the one that I go to just has a bunch of junk in it. And, Steven goes and he's getting webcams or doorbell cams and all of this stuff, brand new in the box. And, I was excited to get my softballs.
I picked up, this box had 16 in it.
Full case.
And I paid, was it $10?
15.
15. So $15 an item. So I've got less than $1 in each one of these. Yeah. And I mean, if you go to Walmart, these are $6.97, $7. So I mean, if a kid sees that and they win it for $4, they're
Yeah.
super excited. And it's all about placement of the call and stuff like that.
Or more, what would be even better is if the kid won one for $1, because then you're almost guaranteed he's going to put another 5, 6, 10 bucks in that machine, thinking, "Ooh, look how easy this is!" Boom, first thing I picked this thing up, and yeah, I love that.
That's cool. I'm excited for you. That's I really it's an intriguing business model. It is. There's so many avenues that you could grow it in. That's the cool thing about it. Like there's so many things that even the three of us here, if we thought about it all day, there's a million avenues we wouldn't think about. Like you said, escape rooms and axe throwing places. Like they could use those in multiple different ways to keep people where they want them or keep people hanging around and benefit their own business.
Yeah.
I'd let you put one in our business just to put it there. I don't even want to cut. I just want you to keep people entertained in this area.
Yep.
Like that benefits my business more.
Like local breweries, like where they don't have food or nothing, and you set up this claw machine, and they've got like keychains, like different adult themed items. Like
fill it full of those little packs of Oreos. Get those hangry ladies in there spending $20 for a bag of Oreos.
I mean,
so
the potential is endless. I mean, if you think about what you can put in there, as long as it's small enough to where that claw could grab, or the cool thing is with these machines, there's a locker that sits on top of it. It's an empty locker, and there's a key, a special key that fits in there. So bigger plush like this, you can still have it in that locker, and you can bury the key inside of a ball somewhere in that machine. So if it's a pack of Pokemon, like a Pokemon box full of cards, and it's like $100 item, and people's like, "Oh, I want to try and win that," to try and get
the grand prize
attention. Exactly. So they're constantly playing, put money in,
try to find that one with the key. That's cool.
So that's what we have on ours now. That's what we.
I have the escape room brain on right now. So I'm thinking a row of 6 machines, numbered 1 through 6, and you have to get one item out of each machine because it's a clue to what you do in the next machine and the next machine to solve a whole puzzle and make them an escape room. They'd sit there and play them all night long. I know they would. They would never stop. They would wait until they got one item out of each machine if it cost them $100.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea, Corey.
I'm 2 months.
I'll be here all night.
Machines.
We've only been talking like an hour here, and look at his ideas that Corey has. Stephen, I'm super excited. I enjoyed talking to you about that, and I was like, man, this is going to be the perfect guest because this is the type of stuff, the directions that we want to talk to people on this podcast is, side hustles that are profitable, that are, maybe low time management, easy startup, almost a turnkey, in some respects, but something that is also scalable, that can grow or not. Or it's something, hey, you get half a dozen machines out there and you're happy with the profit and what it's doing. It's not taking up much of your time. It becomes that almost that passive income after you've put in that initial thing. So this sounds like super exciting.
Might be the most versatile one we've talked about in terms of you could cater this business to anyone. You really could. Yeah, you could do just bridal showers or weddings or like you could really cater this business in so many directions and grow it.
I will say
very well.
So, just like with everyone has multiple things going on in their life, right? Whether if it's full-time job, side hustle after side hustle after side hustle. The reason why one is taking us so long is the fact my mind, Corey, just like you, it goes into so many different ways of how can I make money for my family? This is really what this is about at the end of the day. Taking this money to where if I want to pay some extra bills down or if I want to save it to go to Disney, because that's the dream. Everyone wants to go to Disney. That's the goal. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure that
I never want to go to Disney. Just I want to be on record.
I knew Stephen, as soon as you said that, I knew Corey's brain was going, too many people. Nope.
If you said you would send me 4 claw machines just to spend a day at Disney, I'll buy my own.
Well, I mean, somewhat everyone's dream to go to
Sure.
Disney.
Yeah.
But we've done so many different things to, full-time job, YouTube, um, redoing furniture, now the claw machine stuff, and looking at other avenues, and it's taken a toll on me to where now we're having to, or personally having to step back and see, okay, what do I want to focus on? And what I want to tell everyone is this, yes, there's so many different side hustles out there. Not every side hustle is meant for you. Just because you see someone doing it, like we wanted to do furniture, that stuff's heavy. Like we've got a whole building full of furniture that we were going to restore and redo because you can make so much money off of it. But at the end of the day, it's not for me.
Yeah.
So, the claw machines, once we get into it and we start doing it, it might change. But you don't know unless you take a chance on yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't ever quit doing that. That's something I've learned.
Yeah.
I've done one of everything. Like I think I've done, every time Ken says, well, we can talk about this, I was like, I used to do that. I've done one of everything.
I'm going to find something to stump him one day.
I've learned something from every single one of those things.
Yep.
Even if it was just,
yeah,
even if it had nothing to do with that particular job, I've done things that if I hadn't done them, I wouldn't have talked to that particular customer that taught me something. Like, you literally learn something from every one of those crazy harebrained ideas that makes the next one better. So I will forever be buying dumb crap like a 3D print machine, and I'll never stop doing
before. The more experiences that you have and the things that you try, you probably learn just as much, sometimes if not more, from the failures, from the things that weren't as profitable, from the things, well, like you were just saying there, Stephen, the furniture refinishing and stuff. You watch these people that do it. Oh, we picked this up on the curb, or we got this at the yard sale for $5, or we picked it up for free, and we restored it and we sold it for $300, $400, $500. And it's like, ooh, because whenever you watch somebody refinish a piece of furniture, it's always like they just show you the steps. Well, I sanded, and then
it's funny that you brought
and it
that
makes
one
it look
up.
like you could do it in like 5 minutes. And I know as soon as you said furniture restoring, Corey, I know Corey was like, he's done that.
I saw furniture in the building out there. I literally have like 8 pieces of furniture out there.
I mean, I will say, because I used to build cabinets when I was in high school. That was my job. When I'd leave school, I'd go build kitchen cabinets, and I love doing it. I love painting. I'm a very creative person. I love creating stuff, whether if it's pictures, product, whatever it is. I love doing that. And I started doing the Halloween masks, creating them from scratch, and then I transitioned into, now let's start doing like furniture stuff. And we're the type of people, like when we see it, boom, we're all in. Like we do it. I went and bought a Anchor humongous electric portable generator to power my paint sprayer. And I mean, spent thousands of dollars on this stuff, and it's just sits there because we did one piece, and it was like, it would be different if it was at our house and we could spend more time, because it's like the commute to go to the building to do this, to clean it all up, go back home. There's like I said before, there's only so much time in a day that you have, especially if you work full time.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that
metal fabrication shop sitting out in one of my buildings, like including a CNC plasma table. Like I've been down all those roads. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I mean, you can build claw machines. I'm telling you.
I have everything here. If you can't build a claw machine on this property, you can't build a claw machine. Like the tools are here.
I think when you say that stuff, it's stuff that we've talked about before in starting any sort of a side hustle and stuff. It's like making that first $100, getting into something that's maybe not as you don't have to invest so much money and time to find out whether you like it or not. Like say you bought these sprayers and generators and all of this stuff, and it's like, man, I like it. I like the job, but it's just not it's just not going to work out with location, with time, to spend with your family, with your full-time job. And so this claw machine, the Krazy Claw Vending, really seems to be it's something exciting. Like I say, lots of scalability, lots of ideas, lots of potential, and just all those different avenues that you go down through that you can do. The profitability is almost just seems limited by your own thoughts, by your own imagination, and getting those good locations. You could have 50 machines that are in, shitty locations, or you could have 5 machines that are just in stellar locations, and you're getting that same. So that seems to be a lot of the challenge is getting
How
that
old are you,
location.
Stephen?
35.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that took a long time.
I don't mean this
for being a numbers and an analytics guy, he couldn't even figure out his own age in less than
I don't mean
15
this
seconds.
in a bad way at all. I'm not trying to insult you at all, but you remind me of a younger me. So if I had to give you one piece of business advice, it's when you're doing this vending machine, because it's built for it. It's perfect for this advice. Build it like you plan to sell it.
Yep.
From start to finish. And then it took me 20 years before I figured out that all those little businesses I started, they all had resale value that was way more than I ever invested in them, until I started selling those little side hustles. And at a certain point, that could be your job, is just building these little side hustles and selling them. I would love to do that, but building a business like you intend to sell it is probably the thing I wish I had learned earlier, because you sound just like me when it comes to this stuff. Like, we do things very similar, it sounds like.
And I remind Corey of an older version of himself where he's just given up. And
when I just quit doing things.
Just decided that, why?
Just passing out headshots of himself to everyone.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the plan.
See,
here, Ken.
Uh-oh. Don't tell me you
all
have
my
a headshot.
stock in headshots.
I one-upped you. Look at this guy.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me get you up here.
Did you 3D print that?
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
That's Pops.
See, that'd be perfect stuff like that. See, I wish I could find someone, Corey, that could 3D print my logo, scalable, like where it's just smaller, like where I can put those as prizes. It's like mini claw machines inside of a claw machine.
I'm looking for one. I did. If you go to gramsandpopsvintage.com, I have a few of my 3D printed on there. One of them is like a card holder for people that sell sports cards and stuff. The little card display stands that they put on their desk. Yeah. And we kind of do that with those. But this one was cool because it was one of my first prints. And I actually took a picture of me and I put it in ChatGPT to turn it into a cartoon, and then used another program to make it 3D and just made a little Superman pose out of it. So like it was completely from scratch from just a photo of me. And
that's cool.
Now it sits on my shelf.
Did you see that though, where Corey, the first project that he did, kind of like he made himself a superhero?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to channel my inner DOG.
You also have delusions of grandeur. So there we go.
What was the name of the website?
Gramsandpopsvintage.com. Nice short one, right?
Grams
and Pops Vintage.
And that's where you're going to find some of the stuff that Corey is making on his 3D printer. Corey,
There's
just a side note. Just a side note, Corey, I did figure out getting ordering the UPS labels.
Did you? What you had to do different?
Yeah. You had to sign up more for like that business account, put in like some payment information, that sort of stuff. And it gives you a kind of a different sort of an account that allows you to order those labels. So, so I did that.
Yeah, I've got to say, the website, like, that is a nice website.
Thank you.
Stephen, don't build him up too much. I
don't know. Ken, you saw my website.
I did.
It's horrible.
Well, no, actually,
I did build websites for a living at one point. And this one is not reflective of that. This was like a 10-minute thrown together website, but
like this, you got.
Actually, I didn't think the Krazy Claw Vending website was bad at all. It's bright. It's colorful.
I tried doing a little edit, but like I'm just like Googling how to fix website. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So
Yeah, it depends on what it was designed in and where it's at and how where it's hosted and
we
all of
use
that stuff. But
what's the GoDaddy?
GoDaddy, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was like a word something like an
WordPress.
add-on.
WordPress, yeah.
WordPress. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like with that stuff, I'm like, I have no clue what I'm doing. Like, it takes me a while. Like, I'm normally pretty good at like watching a video and doing it.
Yeah.
But this, it's like, for some reason,
Yeah, WordPress
can't click.
WordPress can be difficult if you've never played with it before. I'm to the point with WordPress now where I have a specific theme and plugin suite that I use on every site that I do that makes it just drag and drop so I can do whatever I want. But it's expensive, so I use it sparingly. I think I have it on like 4 websites now, which is like my max before I buy another license. But it's like $400 a year. But I'm not going to sit there and try and code a website anymore. It's worth it to me to pay that.
Yeah, it's like you got like all kind of like, man. That's a good website. I'm telling you. Like, people, if y'all never went to his website, you need to do it because this thing is like,
there you go, gramsandpops.com and crazyclawvending.com too.
Yes.
And the YouTube channel once you start putting out some content there. Looking forward to that as you get along in this venture. And I think we're gonna wrap it up.
I want to hear back from you in like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, we could definitely.
We could hear back from you before that, but I mean, like an update on the business to see how things are going, because it's such a cool business model. But
how about
for sure
next year at Nashville Meetup?
Okay,
there you 2026. We do a live
Bring
podcast.
a claw machine. Put it in the hotel lobby.
I could.
It could be part of the meetup thing.
It's part of the meetup.
I mean, I do have a truck. We do have a big SUV. So I mean, technically, I could if the wife allows me to do that.
There you go.
And then
that's going to be key.
Up in the locker part, you could have SSK promo headshots. People will be playing that thing all night, trying to get out. I'll sign it. Maybe I'll gold leaf it. I'll
just print a bunch of SSK promo statues to put in the claw machine.
There you go. See, what's cool about the claw machines? You can have a special wrap, so you can technically design your own wrap.
Yep.
So just imagine a whole row of nothing but Ken's signature face shots on the side of these things.
I dream of that type of stuff every night. Everything actually that I dream about has my face on the side of it, or some likeness of me. That's just how I am. But Stephen, it has been great talking with you here.
Great to meet you
today. Excited about this venture. I think so. Corey, we usually kind of determine in the end when we do talk about this if we think an idea is good idea, bad idea, something that anybody could do. What are your thoughts on Krazy Claw vending or vending business in general as far as an overall side hustle?
I guess for me, this is not one I would recommend you jump into half-assed. Mm-hmm. Like you got to have a little money set aside to start it, and you're going to have to commit to it for at least a little while. And if you're willing to do that, I think this one has so many opportunities. Like, it's so diverse. Yeah. So I think it's a great business model, like a super exciting one. But I don't think you can side gig this one, and this is not one you can bootstrap easily. You got to put a little budget aside, and you got to commit some time to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and where I think this is going to be successful for Stephen is just the fact that the struggles that he went through with the company that he originally set up with, where he's kind of given some money and then has been ghosted, hasn't heard from it, but he's still continuing forward. That is the kind of commitment that you need to put into not only this sort of business, but any sort of business, seeing it through, giving it all its effort.
This business, while it's
success,
it's the most diverse and the most opportunities to make it successful that we've talked about so far. Like
Yeah.
like poop scooping. If you run out of yards to poop, you're just like, if you can't make that successful, there's not a lot of diversity in that.
Yeah, if you run
In
out of
this-
yards to poop, so you just start going out
Yeah.
pooping in people's yards so that you can come by and go,
You could.
man,
But
excuse me,
this is
miss.
by
I
far-
noticed somebody took a dump in your front yard. I can.
Yeah, we got him
clean
on
that
ring
for you."
camera. No, this is by far the most diverse and with the most opportunity to make it work. Just like you could reinvent this business every year if you wanted to and do
Yeah.
a different business with the same model. So,
Yes.
but like I said, I don't think it also offers you the most opportunity to quit. You got to source the products to put in the machines. You got to get the machines. You got to maintain the machines. You have to do that hard, scary part, talk to people and get the machines in places. This one has a lot of opportunity to be a quitter. So it's one you have to commit to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said before, if you don't like talking to people, I mean, sometimes you got to face your fear and overcome it to be able to be successful in certain things.
Yes.
I learned that a long time ago, and like I enjoy talking to people. I can talk to people for hours. I never meet a stranger. Unfortunately, Ken, you was a stranger that day, and I did ignore you. So I do. I do apologize.
I felt more like a leper than a stranger.
Stranger
Jeez.
danger.
Yeah. Which,
Yeah,
so
no
the funny
kidding.
part, you didn't even mention this, Ken. So the funny part is when we met last year, I messaged who did I text? Philly Flipper. I text Philly Flipper, and I'm like, "Hey, where are you?" And he's like, "I'm with Ken." I'm like, "Ken who?" He sent me a picture of you. I was like, "Oh crap!"
That guy.
I was like, "Oh, okay. I'll see you in a little bit."
Yeah, that's the guy that I did. See, I told you I was a big deal.
Yeah, because Paul was like, "Yeah, it's the guy that you dissed." I'm like,
yeah, because
did I?
see, in that situation, Paul was hanging out with me. I wasn't hanging out with Paul. That's if that tells you anything. But Stephen, great to have you on. Appreciate it. We're gonna wrap this one up. I'll give you last word, and then I'll say something because that's usually how it works. So,
Awesome.
what you got for the people here? I'm gonna even make you big.
Oh God, I'm already big enough. Nah, whatever you do in life, do it 100%, because at the end of the day, the words "don't quit" just comes out to say do it. So just take a chance on yourself, because you never know how successful you can be unless you do it.
I like it. Take a chance on yourself. And Corey, you got anything to finish up with?
No, I got a vending machine to go buy.
All right. All right. Well, yeah, I'd say we put that at 3 months till Corey gets one, and we'll put it 3 months too for Steven to get that 3D printer. And we'll see who we'll race to see who gets that first. So appreciate you, everybody, for listening. Steven, for coming on as our guest this week, and we will catch you next week on Unemployed for a Living.